Hello there internet and welcome back to World of Roocraft. I am your loyal lore master Roo and this is my robotic friend Boomer.
Did you just call me your friend?
We just arrived at Silithus, the destination of our next review. Believe it or not, but after this we only got 2 more zones left on Kalimdor.
Is the series over after that?
Oh no, we still have to review the Outlands, Northrend, the zones of the Cataclysm, Pandaria, the zones of Legion, and the zones of Battle for Azeroth. So don't worry, we are not going anywhere for the next decade. But back to today's topic, Silithus. I just gonna warn you in advance, this video is going to be a little bit heavier on the lore side and lighter on the gameplay. Just so you don't complain afterwards. So let's start easy. Silithus is yet another desert area, rich with backstory.
Yeah, I can't wait to hear about that.
Do I detect sarcasm in your voice?
Maybe.
That's weird. Where was I? Right, the history of Silithus goes way back, even further than the arrival of the Titans and the ordering of Azeroth. But before we can talk about Silithus itself, we have to establish some things. I talked a lot about the old gods, but it's time to shed a little bit more light on them. The old gods are actually nothing else but sentient dark energies sent out by the evil Void Lords to corrupt the world souls of planets. And just look at them. I think it's pretty obvious that they aren't part of the Snuggle Patrol. 4 of these old gods happened upon Azeroth and settled there to start corrupting the planet. After they settled down, bits and pieces of the old gods themselves fell from their bodies and became sentient. Those creatures were known as the Enraki, or the Faceless Ones, and the Insectoid Archeer. Those new servants helped the old gods to build their Black Empire.
What does that have to do with Silithus?
Just be patient, my friend.
There, he called me his friend. You all heard that?
The Black Empire ruled for a very long time, while the old gods slowly ate away on Azeroth's essence. But things started to look up as the Titans found Azeroth and went to war against the Black Empire and the old gods. I could now tell you how all that led to the banishment of the Elemental Lords, the creation of the Titan Keepers, and the creation of the Well of Eternity, but that would really derail this video. If you do want to know more about this, I highly recommend you to check out the Warcraft Chronicles Volume 1. What we should talk about is that the Titans won in the end. Well, that was to be expected. But they didn't succeed in killing the old gods, since that would almost certainly lead to the death of Azeroth itself. As a solution to this problem, they simply put them to sleep and imprisoned them in the earth. But what happened to the old gods' servants? Most of the Enraki were imprisoned with the old gods, but a lot of the Archeer managed to flee underground. Here they stayed dormant, waiting for the return of their masters. Roughly 60,000 years prior to the First War, the Archeer returned to the surface and were discovered by the Troll tribes. Both races went to war, but the Troll tribes united under the Zul Empire and together they fought back the insects. This led to the Archeer being split up and over time they started to evolve. Part of them became the spider-like Nerub race, another part transformed into the Mantid race, and last but not least, the part fleeing into the southwestern part of Kalimdor transformed into the Kirachi. Those guys are going to be more interesting for us today. The Kirachi managed to take over one of the old gods' prisons, namely Ankh-Kirash, where the old god Kafun was kept. This city-like prison is partially located in the zone we now know as Silithus.
Finally! Are we done yet?
Nope. The Kirachi became silent for another couple of millennia until they were discovered by the Bronze Dragon Anachronos. The Bronze Dragon rallied the Night Elves for help to defeat the Kirachi and thus began the War of Shifting Sands. I mentioned that one in the previous episode. Long story short, even the combined forces of Kalimdor weren't able to defeat the Kirachi, so they sealed Ankh-Kirash behind the so-called Scarab Wall in Silithus. The Cenarian Circle also built a hold in Silithus to keep watch over that wall. Now, we are finally talking about Silithus. Another 1,000 years passed and everything was fine and dandy. Until Kafun awoke again and rallied his Kirachi servants for another attack on Azeroth. Anachronos and the forces of the Horde and the Alliance opened the Scarab Wall once again to defeat the Kirachi Empire once and for all. They actually succeeded in killing Kafun and the Kirachi were pretty much dealt with. But then came the Cataclysm, and it turned out that some of the Kirachi were still hiding out in Ankh-Kirash. They don't pose too much of a threat, but their foot soldiers, the so-called Silithus, are still pestering the southern regions of Kalimdor. What else happened in Silithus after the Cataclysm? Not much actually. The region was completely spared from physical changes during the shattering, but now there is a rise in Twilight Hammer activity. Phew, I know, that's a lot to digest. Wait, Boomer? Did you fall asleep?
No.
Okay. If you know me, you know that I instantly love everything that has something to do with the Twilight Hammer. So I can't wait to check Silithus out myself. Are you ready to get down there, Boomer?
You bet. Boomer Blaster.
Just get down there, please.
Alright.
As you may already guessed, we start our adventure at the Cenarian Hold. In true World of Roocraft fashion, we warm up by killing the spiders, scorpions and giant worms in Silithus. Yeah, I didn't really need to mention that, but I would feel bad if I didn't.
I think we need something more interesting.
Oh, I got the right thing for you. We head to a small cavern in the northwest of Silithus called the Twilight's Run. Take a guess what we are going to find there.
Sparkling vampires!
That's an outdated joke. But no, we finally run into the Twilight Hammer cult again. We fight our way through the cave to kill one of the cult's leaders, a guy named Viral the Vile. Cool name, by the way.
Hey, did you forget something?
Oh, you're right. While we check out Twilight's Run, we can kill even more Twilight Hammer cultists to intercept their encrypted messages. Keep this in mind if you want to grind some reputation for the Cenarian Circle, since the quest is repeatable and gets you some bonus reputation. What else is going on with the Twilight Hammer cult in Silithus? I would like to tell you, but I have no idea myself. So let's figure out why they are here. It would be a good idea to encrypt their messages to help us with that task. Lucky for us, there is a former Twilight Hammer cultist called Ortel hiding out in a nearby cave. I don't know if I should really trust that guy. I had bad experiences with traders recently.
Oh, I saw that episode. That was hilarious.
Ortel agrees to help us, but first he needs the so-called Twilight Lexicon to decipher the cultists' communications. We head to the camp spread all around Silithus and kill the keepers of the Lexicon to take the separated chapters from them. The deciphered message reveals that the Twilight Hammer came to Silithus looking for a mysterious artifact called the Windstone. There isn't much going on with that further, since the questline abruptly ends there. Great. But don't you worry, there is one more thing to do in Silithus. I told you that the gameplay part of this review is going to be short. Let's meet Commander Mar Olive. He asks us to look for his missing wife Natalia. But don't worry, we don't have to go on a wild goose chase. He is kind enough to point us into the direction of an archaeological dig site his wife visited. We chat with the dwarves here a bit and learn that something strange happened to Natalia. While serving a nearby Silphidite, namely Hive Regal, Natalia came in contact with a strange glowing stone. Her behavior changed after this encounter and she became more and more violent towards the dwarves. And one day, she simply disappeared. I guess we have no other choice but to go to Hive Regal ourselves and look for clues. It turns out that Natalia is actually hanging out there, and she's referring to herself as the High Priest of Cthulhu now. She does know that guy is already dead, right? Well, her character name is written in red, so I have no other choice but to kill her. It's needless to say that Commander Merilith isn't taking the news of his wife's death too well. So what happens next? Are we sent out to deal with Cthulhu's minions to avenge Natalia's death?
Nope.
Yet again, the questline simply ends here. And with that, we breezed through all the available quests in Silithus. I hate to say it, but I got nothing else to tell you. Come on, Boomer. Let's wrap this up.
On my way. Woohoo!
Told you, this would be a more lore-heavy review. But what can I do? Sometimes you just have to work with the content the game hands you. On a lighter note, we are almost done on Kalimdor. There's only the Fellwood and Winterspring left to talk about. But where do you want to go first, Boomer?
The Fellwood.
Because it has the word wood in it, right?
Yes.
Why did I even ask? Alrighty, Captain Lunk, set course to the Fellwood.